Covering breaking news now on a Fox 19 Now investigation into fears that some of the evidence in the Pike County murder investigation could be useless.
Now, we started questioning the security of the warehouse in Pike County after finding out the evidence was unguarded.
Investigative reporter Jody Barr is live in Pike County, where the sheriff admits mistakes could have been made. Jody?
Well, Tricia and Rob, not only that, Pike County Sheriff Charles Reeder told me he's going to perform safety audits after we showed him what we found out here at this warehouse. Now, we watched this warehouse for nearly 70 hours. Oftentimes, we were right here in this open parking lot in an unmarked car in the middle of the night, and no one knew we were here. "125 times. That's how many times in the past 6 weeks we drove by and through the parking lot of this warehouse. Inside, it's where 4 road massacre crime scenes are, with some of the evidence in the largest mass murder investigation in Ohio's history. Who's guarding that evidence right now?
I'm not going to comment on who's guarding the evidence. I won't answer that. I'm not going to explain my security measures to you.
That's how most of our 4-hour-long meeting with Pike County Sheriff Charles Reeder went earlier this week. To be clear, we would not report specific details on security measures. We simply wanted to know if the sheriff's office is doing its job to ensure the chain of custody of the evidence.
How do you know that I don't have a deputy there? I'm not discussing my security measurements with you. Do I have deputies there? Absolutely. Am I there? Yes.
Every day?
Every day I'm there.
24/7, there's
Me?
somebody
No,
there.
No,
not
I'm
you,
not
but
saying. I'm not going to answer that. I've told you that.
We filed an open records request with the sheriff to see what tax dollars he's spending to secure the evidence at this warehouse. The sheriff says there is a camera system on the inside where those 4 trailers sit. This warehouse is also home to 2 chemical companies with multiple employees there during the week. But the sheriff would not say who's watching that evidence when civilians are inside. That's until we showed the sheriff what we had. Here's an empty guard shack that's on a Sunday.
Right.
This gate, the one-way in and out of this facility, unlocked an entire weekend and multiple nights through the week. This is that gate on a Monday morning after another entire weekend. It had gone unlocked. No one's there. The question is, though, if anyone was in and around that warehouse at any point in time during the day, you would know about it.
Absolutely.
On that property.
Yes. I or someone else with my staff should know about it, yes. We
told the sheriff we'd spent nearly 70 hours watching this warehouse. We never saw a cop there. No one came out. In the middle of the night, the same car night after night in a parking lot, one would think would raise some suspicion of the law enforcement in this county when you're holding the evidence to one of the largest murder investigations in the state's history.
Absolutely.
Why?
That you're trying to get me to share my security measures with. That evidence is not sitting in that parking lot.
But that gate's wide open. You can't dispute that.
I can't dispute that. Not in what you showed me, but I can dispute that.
The sheriff eventually acknowledged this warehouse is unmanned by law enforcement.
I will not tell you that they're there 24 hours a day. I will not argue the fact that they're not there 24 hours a day. I will tell you that they are there.
After watching this warehouse, we decided to check for ourselves. We walked into the chemical company's offices to ask to see an investigator. Is there anyone with the sheriff's office or the AG's office in right now?
No, there's nobody here right now. They're not here hardly at all anymore.
Really?
Sometimes they'll stop in once in a great while, but they haven't been here for a while.
It would be a prosecutor's nightmare.
Former Hamilton County Prosecutor Mike Allen saw the warehouse for himself. He believes with what he saw here, the state might have a tough time getting evidence into court.
It's going to be tough for a prosecutor to be able to justify that the chain of custody in that evidence was not broken, simply because you got civilians walking around in there with no police officer watching them.
Allen makes the point with the stealth used to murder the 8 members of the Roden family, the same could be used to get access to the evidence.
Like I said, an old guy like me could get over that thing in 15, 20 seconds and pull anything out of there that they wanted to, or perhaps plant something in there. It's just not secured.
He believes your office may have potentially jeopardized any evidence that may come in this case.
I will disagree with that completely.
Now, this evidence outside in this lot, the sheriff says he will be returning most of that to the Roden family eventually. But there are still some things out here in this lot that the Pike County Sheriff says he still considers potentially useful evidence in this case. Rob and Tricia.
All right, so Jody, you know, the big question is, so, I mean, how does somebody even prosecute this case with the potential of this just blowing up on actually what Mike just said?
Yeah, well, the AG says he is not really concerned about what we found out here. We finally tracked Mike DeWine down this morning, actually, to ask him about this. DeWine admitted Mike Allen is correct. There could still be something out here that could be the link to a conviction.
All the evidence that we're going to use has already been taken from the crime scene and secured somewhere else. And it is true, sometimes you get a lead and sometimes there's something there to find and you go back. But that certainly is a rare occurrence.
But the possibility is here, there could still be something in those mobile homes and in those vehicles that could be of evidentiary value.
Well, I suppose that anything is possible, and it's possible that that could be.
Now, the sheriff told me he wanted one thing reported out of all of this, and it is that when these murders went down, he says he had no playbook, no set of guidelines to go by to tell him how to preserve, well, not preserve the evidence, but to store this evidence, then protect it. And he admitted that this was not a perfect situation. The sheriff also told me that he is going to himself test out the security at this evidence warehouse. Live in Pike County, Jody Barr, Fox 19 Now investigates.
This story continues to pick up steam. If you're watching us right now and you have your smartphone out or maybe your mobile device, hit our Fox 19 Now mobile news app because there's information online that you won't find anywhere else. Now, once you have our app pulled up, just scroll halfway down. You see that web extra, Pike County investigation? Click on